Welcome into practice. This is going to be about a 45-minute all levels Vinyasa practice, and we are going to be playing with one of my favorite balancing poses. It's also an incredibly classic yoga asana. It's one that is really accessible to everyone, and we're going to be doing about a dozen-ish different versions of tree pose today. So we are going to start straight away in supine tree pose. So you can lie on your back and your left leg can be extended. You can bend your right knee up so that the right sole of your foot is on your left inner thigh. And then a few different options for the arms. So if you're needing a little bit more grounding energy, you could bring the hands kind of in the lower abdominal, belly region. You could have the arms alongside you, or if you want a little bit more opening through kind of the lungs and the upper chest, you could bring the arms overhead and just stack one palm in the other. And we'll start our practice here as I kind of lay the groundwork for this practice. So just opening up the ears, listening as you enjoy your breathing. So Vrikshasana, the tree pose, offers us a beautiful opportunity to appreciate a tree's inherent qualities. And while there are a long list of qualities to choose from, tolerance is at the top of my list. Specifically, a tree's tolerance refers to its inherent ability to withstand seasonal changes, societal shifts, unforeseen weather events, and immense growth and pruning, all while continuing to offer its natural gifts of shade, fruit, flowers, leaves, and bark to others. Now start to take this into a spinal twist. So let your right knee come up towards the ceiling. You could use your left hand if you want and guide that left knee all the way across the body into Jatara Parivartanasana, revolved spinal twist. If you want to add in a little bit of a pec stretch, you can elongate that right arm out to the right side. And we'll again take about 30 to 45 seconds here in this spinal twist. In the book Myths of the Asanas, Alani Kavalia and Arjuna van der Koij suggest that the tree pose is a posture in which we imbue body, mind, and breath with the qualities of generosity, forbearance, strength, and balance. And so in today's practice, we will practice over a dozen different variations of Vrikshasana and attempt to embody the innate attributes of a tree in each and every one of them. Let's start to bring that right knee back up towards the ceiling. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Bend your left knee and bring your left foot onto the mat. Take a moment just to feel into that figure four position. If this is intense, you could stay right here and enjoy your breathing. If you want a little bit more, interlace the hands behind the left thigh and draw the legs in towards the chest for a reclined pigeon pose. This could be static and still, or if you prefer a gentle swaying motion, you could welcome that in as well. Taking a couple more breaths here. And then we're going to bring this into some dynamic movement by shifting the legs forward so your left knee is stacked directly over your left hip. You're still in that figure four with the legs. Take the arms out to the side, palms can be down. And we're going to keep the shape of the legs exactly as it is. Bring your inhale in here, but as you exhale, drop your legs to the left until your right foot kind of steps on the floor. Right knee is pointing up towards the ceiling. Inhale, come to center, and then shift the other way. The right thigh and knee come towards the floor over on the right-hand side and to center. Twice more each side, dropping to the left and coming to center and dropping to the right and coming to center. One more time, dropping to the left and to center and dropping to the right and center. Lower your left foot to the mat. Keep that figure four. Bring your arms alongside you, palms down. Anchor down into your left foot and elevate up into a bridge pose with that figure four position of the right leg. Take a couple more breaths right here. If you're happy working here, you could stay here or draw the right knee into neutral and extend your right leg up towards the ceiling for one full inhale. And then exhale, lower the right foot down, lower the spine down, coming down onto the mat. And we'll begin that whole sequence on the second side, finding supine tree on the left side with the right leg extended, left knee open, and finding your arm position. So thinking about kind of that opening little Dharma talk about how trees exhibit this quality of tolerance by their ability to withstand an incredible amount of disturbance, often unexpected, of change, and of growth, but also really intense pruning, where they're really cut back and find a way to grow back. Let's lift the left knee towards the ceiling, cross it over the body, Jatara Parivartanasana, reclined spinal twist. And so thinking in your own life, the seasons that you've experienced where you've been put through a particular series of trials and tribulations, disturbances, incredible change, where you've grown, but you've also kind of had to like trim off some of the dead weight. And the ability to withstand all of that is an incredible expression of tolerance against oppositional forces. Let's bring the left knee up to center, cross left ankle over that right knee, bend your right knee, bringing the foot to the mat. Take a moment just to feel into the figure four on this side. And then if you're noticing there's more space to work with, you could draw the legs in, interlacing the fingers behind the right thigh, and take a few breaths in this reclined pigeon. So this sort of figure four moving towards tree pose and then full tree pose will be an ongoing theme throughout this practice. You'll feel the body move in and out of this shape multiple times throughout the sequences. Let's take the arms out wide, shift the legs forward until the right knee is stacked over the right hip, and then we start to sway the legs, dropping to the right until that left foot steps on the floor, and then lifting up to center and dropping to the left until the thigh and the knee tap the floor. Coming up to center and swinging to the right and center and swinging to the left. Once more each side, center, swinging right and center and swinging left. Coming back into center, lower the right foot down to the mat, bring the arms alongside you, pushing into the sole of the right foot and the palms to lift up into your bridge pose. Let that left knee melt down. Take one more breath right here, figure four bridge. And then you could stay right here for another couple breaths or reach that left leg up towards the ceiling, really pushing down through the right palm like you're growing a root system out through the sole of your right foot. And then lower the left foot down. Let the spine roll down. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Take a couple moments to rock and roll along your spine. Really nice. I'm going to do one more rock and roll. That's feeling nice to me. We're going to come straight up into a deer pose. I'm going to face you just so you can see the shape a little bit more clearly. But you want the right shin parallel to the short front edge of your mat. Left shin is alongside the long left hand side of your mat. Okay, and then we're going to start to kind of swing in our deer pose. So as we inhale, we're going to lift up if we can. Then we're going to lower the hips, swing the legs and the knees over to the left, and then try to pick up. And then we'll do that again, swinging and picking up, and lowering, swinging knees to the left and picking up. Last time, swing the knees to the right, pick up. And then listen carefully here. Bring the hands down to the mat. Slide your left knee more towards the middle of your mat. And much like we did on our backs, cross your right ankle over your left knee. Now tuck your left toes like you were coming into toe stretch. Sit your hips back on your left heel. And you're in a toe stretch, but with this kind of like pigeon leg on that right leg. Take a couple breaths. This is a really nice hip stretch. We're looking for a long spine here. Gaze is slightly forward, palms anchored down on the mat. And then we're gonna shift forward. I'm gonna slide my left foot back just a little bit. I'm gonna push up to downward facing dog with this figure 4 leg. So my right knee is opening out to the right. It's pushing back. That added weight on my left knee is actually encouraging that left heel to melt down towards the mat. Take one more breath here, really pushing through the palms to lengthen through the spine. And then draw the right knee in towards the midline. Extend that right leg straight back and up, 3-legged dog. Bend your right knee and start to make some big circles with the hip. So just exploring big circles with that right knee, and then move those circles in the opposite direction. Maybe 2 more. And then we're going to keep that right knee bent, lower the left knee to the middle of the mat, and then sew up your inner thighs together so that they're touching, but my right shin and right foot are not touching. As I inhale, swing my right leg out and up, and as I exhale, bring it back in, inner thighs tap. 3 more, inhale out and up, exhale, inner thighs together. 2 more, out and up, and together. Last one, out and up, and together. Lower the knees, move through a few rounds of cat and cow. Nothing different in these cat and cows, just really classic nourishing cat and cow. And so one of the things when I think about the lessons that trees can teach us when we really look at them is they actually can teach us how to grow to tolerate suffering. They can teach us how to grow to be a little bit more resilient towards incredible disturbance. Let's take that sequence on the second side. So I'm going to slide my left knee forward towards my left wrist, spin my left ankle forward, and come down into my deer pose. So now my left shin is facing the front of my mat. I've got my deer shape. And then I start to move into my deer sweeps. So trying not to use my hands as I lift up, and then I lower down and swing my legs to the right and pick up. And lower down, swing left, and pick up. And down and right and pick up. This will be the last one. Knees sweep to the left. We pick up. Take a moment, really bring the pelvis forward. Good. Then hands come to the mat. I'm going to bring my right knee more to the middle of my mat. Left ankle crosses over. This is my tighter hip, so it's harder for me to find this shape. Tuck my right toes. And then like I'm leaning back into a toe squat, I lean back and I kind of flex my left foot here. Good. And as I mentioned, this is my less cooperative hip. So I have to be a little bit more patient about how I enter these shapes on the left-hand side of my body. So if you have a less than cooperative side, I fully understand your suffering. We can do this together. Let's start to shift forward. We're going to rise up into that figure 4 down dog. So I'm going to need to slide my right foot back because otherwise my down dog would be too short. And then I pick myself up and press back to that figure 4 down dog. And I'm letting the added weight on that right thigh help to encourage my right heel down. I'm really actively pushing my left knee out and back. Take one more breath in this figure 4 down dog. And then we start to bring the left knee in towards the chest, extend that left leg straight back, bend the left knee, and start to make those big circles. So I love to color, and I often envision that my knee has like a crayon or a marker attached, and I'm trying to draw the biggest circle I can, and then sweep the other direction. I'm really trying to make circles, not ovals, not some weird undefined geometric shape, trying to make it as circular as possible. And then we're going to keep that left knee lifted as we lower the right knee down. I'm in my all fours, bring my inner thighs together, and then sweep my left leg out and up, and then inner thighs tap. 3 more, out and up, and they tap. 2 more, sweep, and lower. Last one, it lifts up, it lowers down, and you move through some of those classic cat and cows. And thinking about even in the midst of, unforeseen weather events or a deep pruning season, that trees still find a way to offer their natural gifts. They offer shade to everyone. They offer their fruit, their flowers, their leaves, their bark. And so seeing maybe even in our own struggles and discomforts, if we can find ways to use our natural talents to be of service to others. Let's tuck the toes, lift up to downward facing dog. We're going to shift into the sun salutation portion of the practice. So look to the front of the mat, walking or stepping the feet towards the back of the wrists. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold in. Circle sweep those arms out and up. We're going to move into 2 Surya Namaskaram A's just to get some movement in the body, hands into heart center. Circle sweep those arms out and up. Hands folding forward and down. Inhale, half lift. Stepping or walking it back to your plank pose. Inhale there. We'll go ahead and take a chaturanga, lowering halfway, rolling over the feet to up dog, and up and back to down dog. 3 breaths here. And out. And 2, let the head relax. And out. Last breath in. As you exhale, look forward, walking or stepping the feet. Inhale for your half lift. Exhale, fold in Uttanasana. Inhale, rise. 1 more just like that. Hands to heart center. Inhale, arms sweeping out and up. And folding. Half lift. Step or walk it back. Chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha. Adho Mukha for 3. For 2, soft face, full breath. Last inhale. Exhale, look to the front of the mat, walking or stepping the feet. Inhale, half lift. And fold. Sweeping those arms out and up. Hands to heart center. We'll move through 3 integral yoga or kind of IY sun salutations, those lunge salutations with the 12 movements. We're going to have a different set of poses in the middle of each of those sun salutations coming up. So finding yourself in mountain pose at the front of your mat, elongating the arms, full inhale. Exhale, we bring the palms together. That's position 1. Inhale, reaching those arms forward up, back bend at the top is 2. Folding over the legs is 3. We're going to step that left leg back, lower the left knee down. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands down, tuck your left toes. Sweep the right leg straight up to 3-legged dog. Pause for a breath here and 3-legged dog. And then look into the middle of your mat. You're going to lower your right knee down in the middle of your mat, spin the right shin out, and open up into a supported side plank. Now we're going to keep this flowing. So as we inhale, you're going to pick the torso up, close your gate pose, left hand to left leg, right arm overhead, breathing in here. Now we're going to open the gate. Right hand comes all the way back to the mat. Left arm is going to reach forward and overhead so the bicep is by the ear. Now pause here for just a moment. Push your right palm down. I want you to think of lifting the left side of your rib cage up towards the ceiling, arcing the left side of the body. Feel that left foot pushing into your mat. Beautiful. Lift your left arm towards the ceiling. You're going to do all of that action again, but try to pick up your right knee and connect your right foot to your left leg somewhere in a tree pose. So pushing down through the right palm and the left foot, pick up that right leg and find a tree pose. Breathing 2. Really nice. 1 more inhale there. Big oblique work. Now lower that right knee back to the mat. Lower your left hand down, lower your left knee down. Ashtangasana, knees are down, so knees, chest, and chin. Take a full inhale. Slide onto the belly, lift to your cobra pose. Press through all fours, downward facing dog. Taking that sequence, second side, float the left leg up, three-legged dog. Lower your left knee to the middle of your mat, spin the shin out, find your supported side plank. Breath in here. Then pick yourself up, open and close your gate. So right hand to right leg, left arm overhead. Flow it open. Left arm comes up, left hand to mat, right arm sweeps all the way overhead. Now we take a moment here to feel that energy of palm down on the left palm, right sole of the foot down, and lift the right side of the rib cage up, up, up. Then reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. Do all of that action of rooting down again. Pick up your left knee. See if you can find a tree pose with that left leg. Breathing. We'll do another Ashtangasana. Look down at the mat. Left knee down, right hand down. Right knee down, knees, chest, and chin. Slide to the belly. Lift up cobra. Downward facing dog. We'll take 3 breaths. Good news is that version of the plank with the tree pose is actually harder than the next one that we're gonna do. So we kind of reversed our efforts in today's practice. Hard first. Let's look to the front of the mat. Step your left foot forward. Lower your right knee down. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Give yourself a full inhale. We'll finish out this first round. Hands down, step the right foot forward to meet the left. Really fold in, nose to shins. Then sweeping those arms out and up. You're stronger than you think, just like those trees, hands to heart center. Second round, inhale, release the arms, stand tall. Exhale, palms together, rooting down through the feet. As you root through the feet, position 2, find that back bend in the spine. Folding over the legs. 3. We'll lead with the right foot as we step that right foot back. We're gonna keep a high lunge, sweep the arms up. Beautiful. Pause here for a moment, high lunge. Good. Really strong in the feet. Now we're gonna come into side plank. So that right hand is gonna sweep down to the mat. We're gonna drop the right heel and we're gonna come into side plank. Option to stay here or option to lift your left leg into a tree pose. Left leg could be against the ankle, calf, or thigh. Left arm to ceiling, or maybe sweep it overhead. Make that big, beautiful arcing shape with the body. One more inhale here. And then looking down, spinning into your plank pose. Extend that left leg. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Straight to the second side. Step the right foot forward. Find your high lunge. Sweep those arms out and up. Settle for a couple breaths. Finding that place where you're working in the body, but there's also a sense of ease in the pose. So we're stable through the feet, but we can still be really fluid through the upper body. Take that left hand down to the mat. We're gonna step into our side plank. So left heel drops, right foot steps back, you stack the feet. This is an option to stay here or start to find your tree pose. Right foot finding its placement on the left leg. Finding that position with that right arm. Breathing. One more inhale. And then looking down, right hand down, step it back to plank, take another Vinyasa, chaturanga. Up dog, down dog 3. Thinking about how every tree is completely unique, and yet every tree has something unique to offer. It can offer its shade, its unique kind of fruit if it's a fruit tree, its particular species of leaves or flowers. Just like human beings, we may all be different, we may all have our own unique suffering, and yet we all have something that we can always offer. Inhale, looking to the front of the mat, walking, stepping the feet forward, sweeping those arms out, up, find your back bend at the top, hands to heart center. One more round of Surya Namaskaram. Inhale, release the arms, standing tall. Exhale, hands come in together, position 1. Now listen carefully here. Sweep your arms out and up. We're going to take a crescent moon side bend. So holding onto your left wrist, you're going to lean to the right. Let the hips slide a little bit to the left. Inhale, pick it up through center. Switch the hold onto the right wrist. Lean to your left. Inhale to center. Now we'll find our back bend. 2. Folding forward over the legs. 3. We're going to step that left foot back. Sweep the arms up. Just one breath. High lunge. Step it straight back to plank pose, but listen carefully. We're going to hover that right leg up. So we're in like a one-legged plank. And then we're going to bend that right knee out to the side. Find a tree pose with our right toes just touching the inside of our left leg. Keep lifting your right inner knee away from the mat. Now you're going to lower through chaturanga all the way to the floor. You're still in a tree pose. Slide your forearms forward. Find a sphinx position with your legs in that tree. Let the right side of the pelvis really kind of melt towards the mat. Option to get a little bit more intense in the back bend if you want to bring it into seal. So widen the palms so that they're kind of near the outer front corners of your mat. Push into the palms to elevate the forearms. Now from here, I want you to draw the shoulder blades together, lift the sternum, and lift the chin. And then final option here, bend your left knee, flex your left foot, and just try to push your left foot up towards the ceiling so you engage the left glute. Good. One more breath here. And then relax the left foot, lower the left shin, lower the forearms, slide your palms underneath your shoulders, straighten your right leg, tuck all 10 toes, see if you can power up through plank pose. Beautiful. Now chaturanga, straight back down, up dog, down dog. We'll take that on the second side. Look forward, step your left foot forward. You're in your high lunge. Sweep those arms up. Breath in. You're going to bring it straight back down to that plank pose. Strong plank pose. Hover the left leg. Bend the left knee. Find that tree position. Hold for 2. Keep lifting the left inner knee away from the floor. Then lower all the way down to the mat. Find that sphinx. Forearms come forward. Pulling the elbows back towards the ribs. If you want a little bit more, widening the palms, pressing up into your seal. Final option here, bend that back knee, flex the foot, and act like you're going to push your right foot towards the ceiling. Good. One more breath. Relax the right foot, the shin, forearms down. Slide the palms down. Straighten your left leg. Now tuck the toes. You can tuck your chin slightly. Power up into your plank. Whew. Now lower straight back chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog 3. There is some evidence I was reading when I was preparing for today's practice that the root system of trees actually is strengthened and it gets deeper and wider when it withstands a really intense storm. Something to think about. Look to the front of the mat, walking or stepping the feet. Give yourself a moment to fold in Uttanasana. And then rising all the way up, we're going to take that side bend one more time, holding the left wrist, fold to the right. Up through center, hold the right wrist, fold to the left. Up through center, here's your final back bend. Hands into heart center to close. Release the arms alongside you. Take a little micro meditation moment here. I found a quote that talked about how trees are sanctuaries. That whoever knows how to speak to trees, whoever knows how to listen to them, can learn incredible truths. We'll blink open the eyes. This is a great time to take a quick sip of water, adjust your clothing. We're going to move into a longer sequence now, and a lot of the poses that we did throughout the course of our sun salutations are going to be kind of sewn together through the course of this sequence. We'll only do the sequence one time on each side, okay? So a lot of these poses, again, you've already done, so hopefully it feels like revisiting a friend that you've already kind of built through the course of the practice. I'm going to start facing you just so that you can see this opening pose. Because I think facing to the side of you might make it a little bit difficult to understand. So we'll start with the left leg as our standing leg, the trunk of the tree, so to speak. Start to bring that right leg up into your Vrikshasana tree pose, whatever that looks like to you today. And we're going to move into leaning tree pose. So we're going to take the right hand and place the palm up on the top of the right knee or thigh. Sweep your left arm out and up towards the ceiling. This is why we did those crescent moons just a moment ago. You're going to start to lean towards the right, bending your body laterally to the right in this leaning tree pose. Beautiful. Holding for 3. I'm going to transition to the front of the mat. You stay as you are for 2. One more full breath, exploring that leaning tree. Now we're going to straighten up our tree, bring the hands into prayer position, and we'll step the right foot back into a high lunge, right foot to the back of the mat. Settle into that high lunge. We've been here before. Take a moment, get the strength in the legs. Inhale, reach the arms up if they're not already. Cleopatra pose, lower the right hand to the mat. Turn your left toes out and wiggle the left foot back slightly. Drop your left arm parallel to the floor and let your right hip dip down. We're going to do some Cleopatra presses. So as you inhale, push down through your left foot, sweep up and over, arcing the body. Exhale, lower the hip, drop the left arm. Just 2 more of these presses. Inhale, up and over. Exhale. Inhale, up and over. Exhale. You could reach down, find your left ankle, imagine yourself moving into side plank, pick up your left foot, place it into your tree pose. Find your side plank with your tree for 2. One more. Keep it, keep it, keep it. Lower your left palm like a rotisserie chicken. Spin over so your left knee points down to the mat. Right arm lifts up. Try not to let the knee touch. One more full breath here. Then stay in your tree pose, plank pose. Lift your left inner knee away from the mat. Lower all the way down to the mat. You're still in that tree. Slide the forearms forward. You're in your Sphinx. If you know you want to lift to seal, you can push the palms down, lifting the forearms. We're not going to bend the back knee this time. Just going to be in the back bend. One more breath in. Then lower the forearms if you were in seal. Take your right arm, extend it straight out to the right. Left palm comes underneath your left shoulder. You're going to lift your left knee up towards the ceiling as you roll over the right side body and step your left foot behind you. So it's like a tree pose on your left leg, left knee's pointing up, but you've got this deep shoulder opener. You can relax the right temple onto the mat. One more breath here. And then we're going to roll back onto the belly. Palms come underneath the shoulders, left leg extended. Tuck the toes. You know what you're doing. Push up into your plank. Lower down into your chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Now we're preparing for a handstand practice in a moment. So walk your feet in 1 full foot's length. And we're going to do 5 donkey kicks, which means you're going to try to take your heels and kick your bum 5 times. Kick, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down dog. Beautifully, beautifully, beautifully done. Look to the front of your mat, walking or stepping the feet forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Sweep those arms out and up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Really nice. That was the sequence. We'll move to the second side. I'll start facing you. So those donkey kicks are great because we're trying to get the hips over the shoulders, and maybe you get a little hover as we kick up there as we're preparing for the handstand in a minute. So this side we'll start on the right leg. Start to bring our left leg up into our tree pose. Take a moment, really stabilize the bottom half of the pose. That's your trunk and your root system. When you're ready to get your branches growing, left palm up, right arm sweeps out and up. And then we've got some really swaying, leaning branches in this tree. I once lived in a place where we were right on the water, and so the breeze from the water constantly blew, and the trees grew like crooked. So this is like one of those trees that grows at a really intense angle. 2 more breaths. I'm going to move to the front of my mat. You've got this. 1 more breath. We're going to step back to that high lunge. So bringing the hands into prayer position. Left knee comes in towards the midline, and then send it straight back as you land in your high lunge. When you get there, feeling firm in the feet, reach the arms up, take your breath in. We're going to move into our Cleopatra with our Cleopatra presses. So left hand comes down, right foot kind of wiggles out to the side. I lower my right arm parallel to the floor, and then I press up and over. And then I lower down. And don't just think wrist here. Push through that right foot to sweep up and over. You'll also get a nice hip stretch. Lower down. Last time to push up and over. And then we're going to build our side plank with our tree from here. So I lift my right arm. You can use the hand to pick up the foot and put it in place. Find your side plank. Take your breath. You're doing amazing. Make sure the fingertips are gripping the mat. Now we're going to flip like a rotisserie. Right palm down. Pivot over the left foot. Try not to let that right knee touch. Left arm reaches up. 1 breath here. Hello, obliques. Now come to your plank. Keep your tree pose. Right inner knee pushing away from the floor. Yes. Lower to the mat. 1 solid piece. Find your Sphinx. Option to press into seal. Navel still pulling in. And then we come into that big pectoral opener. So left arm extends out to the left. We're going to take that tree leg. We're going to lift it up and then step it behind us. Yes. So that right knee is really trying to lift towards the ceiling. This is also activating glute medius in that right leg. Good. 1 more breath. And then rolling onto the abdomen. Right leg straightens. Palms underneath the shoulders. Tuck your toes. Press up to your plank. Lower chaturanga. Great shoulder and arm work today. Up dog, down dog. And then you walk the feet forward 1 full foot's length. Look in between your thumbs, soften your knees, and try those donkey kicks for 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Beautiful. Down dog, looking to the front of your mat, walking or stepping. Half lift, fold in, sweep those arms out and up. Hands to heart center. Okay, before we really close it down today, you'll notice something is missing today. I normally have a mandala on my wall. It's not there today because I'm doing a handstand and I didn't want to kick it over. So if you need to transition to a wall, by all means do so. I'm going to move my mat a little bit closer so that both of the palms of my hands can be securely on my mat. We're going to kick up into our handstand. We're going to try to make an upside down tree pose in our handstand, okay? So I'm going to kick up and I'll do the pose, but I'm going to come down because I'm minding the clock. We're going to try to do 45 seconds on each side, okay? So we're going to start to set up for round 1. We've got 10 seconds before we're going to start our 45-second count. So hands down, you find like a down dog facing the wall. Walk your feet in just like you did for those donkey kicks. Dominant leg up. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Kick it up. And then when you get there, flex your feet, heels to the ceiling, and then bend your right knee open. Find your tree pose. Push that right foot into that left inner thigh, solidifying the shape. I'm going to come down just to mind the clock. You've got this. You're already 20 seconds in. Beautiful. Keep pushing foot to inner leg. 12 seconds. Strong through the elbows. 8, 7, 6, 5. One more full breath and you're there. Straighten that right leg up. Lower the feet down. Stay in Uttanasana. So head below the hips. You might lift the hands and roll through the wrists a couple times before we do the second round. If the wrists are really bugging you, really make sure you're using the fingertips to grip the mat. Okay, we're going to start to set up for the second side, which will start in 10 seconds. So planting those palms, finding that shorter down dog. You can still do the dominant leg to kick up in 3, 2, 1. Kick it up. Flex the feet. This time left knee comes down, finding your tree. Strong elbows, gripping the mat. Press that right heel up. Upside down tree, you've got this. You're over halfway there. 13. Last 10 seconds, you can do this. 5, 4, one more good inhale. Let the feet come down, Uttanasana. You can keep your head below your hips as you walk yourself to the front of your mat. You're going to lower yourself down, so bend your knees. Come to a seat with your hips in the middle of your mat. Janu Shirshasana A. Left leg is going to stay extended. Right knee comes up and open like a half butterfly. So this is, once again, we're like in our tree pose, just now we're seated. Sweep those arms out and up. And fold straight forward, holding onto that left leg. Letting yourself really fold in here. So the lesson of Vrikshasana tree pose is that you can withstand incredible suffering. You can maintain your inherent worth. And you can still be of service to those closest to you just by being you. Start to reach the fingertips forward, floating out and up. We'll take a really brief little half circle, right palm behind us. Lift the pelvis, come forward, opening the front body. And then we'll lower the hips and switch sides. So that right leg extends, left knee bends, arms sweep out and up. Folding forward. In their book, Myths of the Asanas, the authors say that individually trees tolerate all kinds of natural disturbances. Torrents of rain, scorching heat, piercing cold. And yet they are still able to relieve our fatigue and give us shelter. I say, my dear friends, no one is denied shelter by a tree. Reach the fingertips forward, floating up. A brief little half circle, Ardha Mandalasana, left palm back, pelvis reaches forward and up. And then we lower down and we start to make our way into Shavasana, extending the legs, coming onto the back. Now we've done a lot of hip opening. If you want to conclude with a final flourish of hip opening, you could find Supta Baddha Konasana with the soles of the feet together, knees wide. If your body's had enough of that kind of movement in the body, classic Shavasana. The true meaning of life is to plant the trees under whose shade you do not expect to sit. To plant the seeds of trees under whose shade you do not expect to sit. If you find that your body is needing more time for rest and you have more time to give, you're welcome to stay here in Shavasana, pausing this recording and staying for as long as you like. If this is the time that you set aside for your practice, you can allow your breath to become a bit deeper and more invigorating. You can wiggle the fingers and the toes. And in your own time and in your own way, you can start to gather yourself and make your way back up to a comfortable seat. As we conclude our practice, you could either bring the hands onto the body like a gesture of gratitude, or bring the palms of the hands together, a symbol of the body and the mind coming together as one. We ask that the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light. And also maybe to just look a little bit closer the next time we see a tree and to say thank you. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Victory to our practices. Chai.